achieved what is called the American dream. They have pursued life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. They have pursued it. They reached it. Now, those policies, by the way, if you want to keep, probably the policy you have is considered one of these. Mm-hmm. You're covered for anything, right?
I think so.
Yeah. Your wife is covered for everything.
I think so.
You pay a lot of money. I know, because you probably have the same plan I do. Mm-hmm. When you get that bill, it's like, whoa, that's a lot of money. But you know what? I could walk into any fucking doctor and get any treatment I need on a fairly quickly basis. These will be taxed 40%
Why?
Excise tax.
Why?
On the Cadillac of policies.
Why?
You know why?
Yeah.
Because you don't deserve, Opie. You don't deserve to have that kind of good coverage because you have achieved some success in this country. You don't deserve it because some poor fuck can't afford his, so they will tax the fuck out of yours to pay for his.
And we're in a weird position because this radio thing, you don't make money in radio.
No.
We've been lucky enough to make money in radio for the last, I don't know what, almost 10 years now?
Yeah, by the way, that could stop tomorrow.
Sure, but before that, it was many, many years of making average money.
Making shit.
And for most of my adult life, I didn't have health insurance. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think when I started getting health insurance. Maybe when we moved to Boston. So maybe the last 15 years of my life I've had, not even 15, let's say 13, 14 years of my life I've had health insurance. Yeah. And I'm an older guy now.
Yeah.
I made it to 30 without health insurance.
You didn't have it. I mean, is it a good like idea? Of course. And the way the Democrats and Obama and Pelosi, when they were giving their speeches last night after the vote, and how wonderful a thing this is, it sounded, utopian. It sounded great. But
someone's going to have to pay for it.
But if you actually read...
And it's not just like...
The Communist Manifesto, by the way.
Oh, shit.
If you actually read it...
Did you do some of that heavy reading over the weekend?
Again, it sounds great. It sounds like, wow, we're all going to share in this wealth that the country as a whole unit brings in, and then it's distributed evenly by the government, and we all get everything. Mm-hmm. And it sounds so amazing. It sounds like such a great thing that no one's suffering, no one's really getting rich, but we're all in this pool of humanity that's surviving and doing great. Well, we all saw how that worked with the Soviet Union. It didn't. It just breeds contempt and corruption. There's no incentive, and that is what's happening in this country. The incentive to work hard and to use your talents to work yourself up and make something of yourself is being cut off at the knees. There's no incentive anymore because the only thing you get is penalized, and you get villainized, and you get things taken away from you to give to the people that didn't pursue the American dream.
And how this whole thing went down is a little weird with the
backroom dealings.
Deals. And
here's what happened. And again, I'm listening to CNN and Fox News and MSNBC.
Did you go back and forth?
Dude, I went back and forth like crazy. That's how I knew
good.
it.
That's good.
It looked crazy.
Right.
But the whole fact that, my God, what was your point with that? With the fuck. There's so many things coming in.
Whoa.
That the votes came in, that they got enough votes.
Right.
The backroom dealings and whatnot. Right. I twittered something last night that said this, the fact that they got enough votes, they didn't have enough votes. They didn't have enough votes just up to a couple of weeks ago and last week.
Let me slow you down because I like to talk in way more general terms than you.
Absolutely.
Okay, so they're trying to do this healthcare reform. They don't have enough votes. Usually that means, okay, it's not quite right, and we need to work on this.
It's not ready.
It's not ready.
Yeah.
Let's not push this through. Let's spend more time on this.
People are upset with it.
People are upset with it. God forbid, maybe we have to take another year to get this thing right.
Right.
That's sort of how America used to work.
Yeah, whatever.
For the most part. But this time, no, fuck that. What is it going to take to get...
Shove it down our throats.
Shove it down our throats. Get this done tonight. By the way, like you said before the show, Sunday night at midnight.
Sunday at midnight is a great time to make history.
If that doesn't say a lot.
You know, I understand why Apollo 11 had to land on the moon at, I think, or step out on the moon at 2 a.m. on a Saturday.
Right.
It was kind of logistics. They had to do that.
Right.
So when you say, where were you when you watched a man land on the moon?
Most people
it's another thing. It was very late.
Most people have to say, well, I was sleeping. And
some people
dreaming.
were sleeping. They watched it the next day, whatever. This is something like, look, why did you have to do this in the middle of the night on Sunday?
Basically the middle of the night.
Yeah. And this, to me, reeks of the Democrats not wanting to be held accountable when this bites them in the ass in November. But we'll get to that.
But what does that matter? Because I was thinking about that, too, because this whole health care reform thing going through it's a motherfucker, and it's gonna hurt the Republicans when they go back into office in November.
How is that?
Well, because all this will be in place, right?
Well, they'll have jobs, and the Democrats that voted this in won't. And, then they'll fuck things up.
But they're going to have to work with this now, is what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, they're gonna have to work with it, but we'll see. We'll see how far it gets. By that time. The backroom dealing. I wrote last night, I Twittered, yes, they didn't have enough votes, and then all of a sudden they have enough votes. This wasn't done because the people, and if you listen to Pelosi and Obama speaking last night, it's almost like the people have spoken. They wanted this. The people had nothing to do with the Democrats getting enough votes. This was dealings. This was Obama flying around to different states and saying, what do you want to vote for this deal? What can I give you? What can I include in this bill to give you so you vote for this deal? And they would say, well, how about you take federal money, taxpayer money, and give it to my state for my pet project here, this thing that I'm doing to take care of these businesses so I get fucking reelected and stuff. And then Obama goes, all right. And they go, well, you got my vote. That helps the people. That is in the best interest of the people. I say no.
In fairness, the government has been doing that since we started this damn nation of ours.
But
it seems like they pushed it a little
huge,
a little further than usual, and for something that's pretty substantial.
You could say that, but it's like leave a penny, take a penny when you go in there,
right?
And saying, well, that's been going on for years. You've seen that,
right?
How about leave a million, take a million? It's different in that way, and it makes sense to say it's different in that way. This is giant legislation, and it's going to cost a fuckload of money. And anyone who thinks it's not going to, just look at the timeline. There is no way they can even enact this quickly enough. They could pass the bill, but a lot of the shit ain't going to kick in until 2000, some of the shit until 2018.
Really?
After Obama's gone, this shit kicks in. Stuff immediately? Yeah, there's stuff that kicks in immediately. Of course, a lot of taxes kick in right away.
I didn't know that. I thought everything just changed today.
No, we have to start paying for this shit well before you start seeing any of it. And by we, a lot of it, I mean me and you. The middle class, they're going to have to pay too. And for anyone that thinks everyone isn't going to have to foot the bill for this, they are taxing the fuck out of drug companies. And what do you think? Drug companies are going to go, which already are just paying a shitload of money to the government in taxes, and that's why it's costing a lot of money to buy prescription drugs. You think they're just going to go, well, I guess we got to eat this? No, they pass it on. And there's no way that the government is regulating prescription drug companies right now. I don't think they're in that business. Maybe next month. Maybe that's Obama's next project. But they're going to tax